7 months ago, I had purchased my first silvercrest blender. And what actually happened to that blender? I'm going to tell you a little about it. This is that blender. It's no longer working. What happened to it? It's no longer working. What was my experience? So when I bought this blender, that was my first experience. I wanted to make smoothie. The first try, it went well. Then after that, the blender started smoking. And I'm like, what? Is this not silvercrest blender? The bottle crusher? What's going on? Well, as it was, that was the end of that blender. Long and short story. I took it to a technician to check, and what actually happened to it? The armature was gone. And the funny thing is that you won't see that armature very easily around here. And so that begins to beckon the question, what's going on? Did I buy the wrong one? Or did I do something wrong? In today's video, if you stay till the end of the video, we are going to expose why your silvercrest blender may not be working and what you should do if you encounter this problem. But before then, kindly hit the subscription button if you have not subscribed to the channel before, and if you are a returning subscriber, that's for you. Thank you for always coming around, because it is support like this that will keep the channel to keep growing. And so I thank you for coming back. Today we are going to talk about why your silvercrest blender may not be working. Because with this particular blender, I had to do a lot of research. I had to meet a lot of people. I had to contact a lot of companies over in China. And that was where the breakthrough came, because I'm more of a research guy. And so if something is wrong, there is a problem, it beckons for a solution. And so I went for a solution and I got it. 7 months after that, no trouble. My silvercrest blender still lasts me till today. And here is it. 7 months from now, it's still in the best condition possible. This particular blender can do so much, from grinding to crushing to mixing. And that's why it's called a multifunction blender robot. We still have them here. That is it. So today I'm going to discuss in form of a bulletin why your silvercrest blender may not be working. So I have a short note I'm going to explain. I'll just pick the points one after the other, and then we talk about it, and then you learn, so that you may not have to buy a new blender again, or just make an outright best purchase once and for all. So one of the reasons why your silvercrest blender may not be working is because you are not following the instructions. What are the instructions? Okay, I would have loved to talk more about that, but let me cut the video for today short by referring you to one of the videos in which we had explicitly explained how to keep your silvercrest blender running and you will not have any trouble at all. So somewhere around the description or maybe the comment section, I'm going to drop the link to that particular video. There are a lot of instructions that I had selected and outlined, so that if you follow those instructions, your silvercrest blender is going to last you for a very, very long time. Another reasons why your silvercrest blender may not be working, because if you're talking about your blender working, there are two things you have to keep in mind. For a blender to be working, these two goals must be met. One, your goal may be that your blender should be used to grind, it should be used to blend, it should be used to maybe crush. And so if you're not meeting these goals, it means your blender is not working. I rarely have this kind of challenges, but from what people used to say or complain, sometimes you will blend with a silvercrest blender and the kind of texture you get from blending is not satisfactory. You blend stuff like maize, beans, and then you get very shafty items or product at the end of the day. Or sometimes another problem they encounter is they will say the blender is smoking and it stopped working. That was the same problem I had encountered initially, and 7 months from now, it's like it shouldn't be a problem. Okay, so the number 2 thing you need to do to keep your blender working, or why your blender may not be working, is because you are not getting the original. If I want to also talk more about how to identify the original, is going to make the video much longer, and so I am going to also drop a link to show you how to identify the original silvercrest blender. Because if you get the original silvercrest blender, you will not experience any of these trouble. Take my word for it. Okay, so another so I'm going to drop that link in the description button, or maybe the comment section, anywhere around there. And so if you have any other problem that you are encountering with your silvercrest blender, please drop it on the comment section and I will see how we can address those situations. Another reasons why your silvercrest blender may not be working, and the way forward to it, is you are not using the right models. Did you know that silvercrest blender has different models? Of course they do. By model, I'm referring to not the registration number, not the 1589 you see, because if you look at this blender, you will see the SC1589. That's the registration number. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the model of your engine. Okay, so if you're not getting the right model, you might be using a good blender for the wrong purpose. I'm sure you all know what a mini bus is. A mini bus can be original, but do you know what will happen if you're using a mini bus for an interstate transportation business, whereas you should be using bigger engine buses like highest bus and those other big buses where you use for interstate transportation? So if you're going to use a mini bus for such business, my brother, my sister, you are doing the right thing in the wrong way. So what are these models of silvercrest blender that are available, that if you do not choose the right ones, you are going to have problem, or your blender will start smoking, or you cannot get the consistency that you want? The first model we have is the 7625. We also have the 7630, the 9520, the 9525. Those are the affordable models. You can seemingly affordable models you can get, but there are other higher models than that. And so those models that are much more higher are much more expensive. In fact, those ones are trying to compete with the likes of Bochimix, the likes of Vitamix. Vitamix is 100 and something thousand for a reason. Not because it's doing something special, but because there are techniques, there are a lot of things that are put in the right way, perspective, to get it to that point. Bochimix is around 70 something thousand for a reason. Some models of silvercrest blender are 50 something thousand for a reason. And so if you want a cheaper model, well, you can go for it, but it all depends on your goals. And so if you're getting the wrong or the lower model, and then you begin to use it to do items like maize, corn, or your stockfish, you want to turn your stockfish into powder so that you can be using it much later for your meal preparation, and then you go to get a lower model, then you begin to bring trouble for yourself. Okay, that's another reason why your silvercrest blender may not be working. But of course, if you encounter situations where your silvercrest blender is smoking, what should you do? Please allow it to rest for, let's say, a period of 30 minutes, okay? And then you try the operation again. But have this at the back of your mind that if you continue to allow your blender to smoke and come back, it's like a lifeline. In little or no time, you will be looking for a way to get another blender. So it's better to go for the best. Just manage. Go for the best or the higher model if you know your goal is to do something much tougher. Or do you think the ones you see on the ads where it grind bottle, it breaks bottle are the same one you buy for those lower amount of money? Definitely not. Now, what happened is that even if you're using that lower model to blend bottle, it is going to do that. But here is the trick about it. There is a vibration while you put on the crush button. So that vibration is going to take your bottle up and down, and then it's going to tumble the bottle, break it, and try to crush. It will not be that smooth anyway. At the end of the day, you end up spoiling your blender, cup, pitcher, whatever, and then your blade begins to have issue. That's not what you bought the blender for. And so that's one of the reasons why your blender may not be working. So, word of caution, I have told you, follow the instructions, get the right models, and try to get the original. If you do this, then I assure you that your blender will be running at the optimum performance. And if you have any other trouble your blender or your silvercrest blender is giving you, please drop it on the comment section. I remain Joshua Victor Emmanuel, and that's all for today. I love you guys. Peace out. Continue to like and to share and to share and to share and to support this channel. I'll see you in our next content. We still have more on the content calendar schedule. Peace out.